So good evening, everyone, and thank you for being here. I apologize for being late, but I wanted to thank the Montclair Kimberly Academy tennis and boys soccer team for being here this evening. My name is Brendan Gill. I am the freeholder representing District 5, which encompasses the townships of Belleville, Bloomfield, Nutley, Glen Ridge, and most importantly, my hometown of Montclair. I just told your assistant athletic director, Patty Sullivan, that I'm a graduate of Montclair High School. I'm born and raised in the community. And I talk about this all the time. I had the pleasure of actually honoring Montclair Kimberly Academy's boys lacrosse team in the spring. This is my first year on the freeholder board. And I said, listen, I'm a big supporter of MKA, but I'm not one of these flip-flopping politicians. When you play the Montclair Mounties, I'm with the Mounties. but you guys are to be commended, because in the community of Montclair, in particular at MKA, they're calling this the greatest fall sports season overall, arguably in the history of the school. And I think that is something that I really wanted to make sure that I did my small part to recognize both the student athletes and the parents who are here this evening for everything they did to allow these young people to achieve all of their success. So as I said, I'm always proud when given the opportunity to root on athletic students, teams, coaches in our area, and to commend you for your accomplishments of a job well done. I understand that our head coach, Bill Wing of the tennis team, couldn't be here, but I'd like to ask our assistant coach, Alex, to come on up, if you would. Congratulations. I'd be remiss, and before I start, Alex, I also just wanted to recognize a couple of people who've joined us here. We have with us our clerk to the freeholder board, who's also a village trustee in the township of South Orange, Deborah Davis Ford. Deborah, for being here. My colleague on the board, freeholder Gerald Owens, who's a freeholder at large. Of course, thank you to the staff, the freeholder staff, for making this possible. We're here tonight in a historic building. For those of you who don't know, and we'll do the quick civics lesson, we serve in the legislative body of county government. It's a 9-member body. There's 5 districts and 4 at-large members. As I mentioned, I represent one of the districts. You're in a building that was built and dedicated in 1921, and there's been quite a bit of history, and if you're a student of history and of New Jersey political history, there's been some tremendous people who have served on this board, most notably and recently the late Congressman Donald Payne comes to mind, who was an Essex County freeholder, among others. So it's always a pleasure for me to bring students and people from other parts of the county to this building to see the seat of county government. So with that, back to the team. Back to the team. And Coach, I understand you're going to accept the proclamation on behalf of Coach Wing, but as the tennis legend Billie Jean King said, champions keep playing until they get it right. And clearly you've coined yourself a champion, and Mr. Wing, as a track record shows, that you continue to get it right. So as a head coach of the Montclair Kimberly Academy girls tennis team, we share in your honor of being named the 2012 New Jersey Girls Tennis Coach of the Year. Without going into all the accolades that are listed for the head coach, I'd like to mention just a few of those accomplishments. He was the director of tennis at the Clifton Racquet Club since 2002. He's the owner of Bill Wing's Tennis Academy that operates both in Clifton and Montclair. He holds high-performance coach certifications from the U.S. Professional Tennis Association, P1, and the U.S. Tennis Association. He's a Special Olympics coach. He's an advisory staff member with Wilson and Adidas. And finally, he's coached the girls tennis team of Montclair Kimberly Academy to the 2012 non-public B state championship. So we're proud of everything Alex, that you and the head coach have accomplished. And on behalf of the entire Essex County Board of Chosen Freeholders, I'm happy to congratulate and commend you for your outstanding season on the 2012 non-public B state championship. And with that, I'd like to ask you to recognize the members of your team and ask them to come up, and say a few words. And again, on behalf of the Essex County Freeholder Board, congratulations, best of luck, and I hope to make this an annual event. So, thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for having me tonight. I think Bill will definitely be proud of this. Having actually known Bill since I was 5 years old and learning tennis from Bill as well, and becoming a coach on his staff, it's pretty interesting how things come full circle. I'm very proud of all the girls on the team. We've developed quite a program from middle school up through the upper school, and we'll continue to build on that and hopefully see you again. Can I please have Julia Perlmutter, Madison Rivlin, Savannah Fasaro, Isabella Calandra, and Nikita Israeli please come up. I'd also like to give a shout out to some of the girls that can't be with us tonight: Danielle Charpentier, Kira Farris, Caroline Lindholm, Lauren Charpentier, and Heather Perkins.
On behalf of the MKA girls tennis team, just thank you so much for having us, and we're all really excited about the season and just really happy to be here, so thank you.
At Montclair Kimberly Academy, it's not only the young women that excel in sports, but it's also the young men. And I'd like to ask our Assistant Athletic Director, Patty Sullivan, to please join me at the podium. The high school sports and high school athletics, again, I'd like to thank the parents who took the time to be here this evening, because I can imagine driving to the practices, going to the practices, going to the games, you forge so many memories. But when you accomplish something in high school athletics, what you may not realize as well is that you also allow other people in your community to forge memories. And as a father now of a 4-year-old who loves soccer, I took him to a few of your games this season, read about the team, read about your accomplishments. And you might not realize that it's not only the memories that you formed with your coaches and with your classmates, but there's other people who remember where they were when you accomplished what you did. So it's a community accomplishment, and again, I commend you for that. So Patty, I'd like to share a little bit something. We have a proclamation that was prepared for your head coach who couldn't be here tonight, but I just wanted to share a little bit about the season, and I'm not telling you anything you don't know, but I did want to make sure, I thought it was important enough that we recognize these accomplishments. The 2012 boys soccer team ended with a state championship season with an outstanding overall record of 19 victories, only 2 losses, and 1 draw. This is the 2nd consecutive win and the program's 3rd. They won their first ever Super Essex Conference American Division Championship. They were ranked by the Star Ledger as the number 4 team in New Jersey, and the number 2 non-public team in New Jersey, and the number 2 team in Essex County. So again, congratulations, tremendous accomplishment. With that, Patty, if you would like to come up and acknowledge the players who are here, we have proclamations. And again, on behalf of the Essex County Freeholder Board, congratulations, my pleasure, and best of luck. Thank you.
I'd like to thank Freeholder Gill for this opportunity to salute MKA Athletics. As he said, it was a historic fall. As on behalf of the Montclair Department of Athletics, I am happy to be here. Jordan Raper, who is the coach, was unable to be here, and he definitely wants to commend his team. At this time, I'd like to call up our senior captains to say a few words. Senior Mark Phillips, Senior Captain Matt Lane, and Senior Captain Justin Gonzalez.
At this time, I'd like to thank the parents and thank the freeholders for everything they've done for us here today, and thank the rest of the team for having a great season, and thank you, Ms. Sullivan, to everybody else in the athletic program, because it was a great and a very special year for everybody, and just thank you.
At this time, I'd like to call up the other seniors. Senior Miles Hackett, John Ledred. Okay, there are a few seniors who are unable to be here, but we can salute them for an outstanding job. Kiefer Hessler, Jesse Narr, Will Surf, Nick Pye, Ed Elson, Joel Bassett, Scott Hermo, and David Redding. We have 4 juniors today that were also very much of an impact on the team. We have junior Tommy Fusco, Mauricio Toscano, Sam Eisen, and Ryan Fennelly. Three sophomores that also played a big part in this season: Malcolm Dixon, Wyatt Noble, and Danny Nasty.
Thank you again for everyone being here. I don't know, is anyone's parents here who would like to recognize their parents for being here? No, I'm going to put them on the spot.
How about having them stand?
Yeah, let's have the parents please stand. Thank you. So again, I wanted to commend you for a great season, both teams, and for again taking the time to be here. And please know that as long as I have the opportunity to represent this community, you'll have my support and going forward. So best of luck to the seniors, and for the sophomores and the juniors, I'm hoping to see you back here next year. So great, congratulations. Thank you.
Is of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Remain standing for a moment of silence. Thank you. Before we have roll call, Madam Clerk, Freeholder Bobadilla would like to make an announcement and a presentation to the board at this time. Freeholder Bobadilla.
Thank you, Madam President. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
I just wanted to take 1 minute of your time to introduce my middle daughter, Alexandra Bobadilla. Can you stand up?
Stand up.
So she's a legislator in training,
Oh, very good.
and a very good daughter in training. So I just wanted to bring her today and see how the process works. Thank you for
Fantastic.
letting me do that.
How old is
course.
she?
6 years old.
Oh, she's 6?
Oh, wonderful.
And welcome to the Freeholders meeting. And if you decide that you want to speak, you just raise your hand and I'll let you speak, okay? All right. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Freeholder Beasley.
Present.
Freeholder Bobadilla. Freeholder Clark, absent. Freeholder Gill.
Here.
Freeholder Johnson.
Present.
Freeholder Luciano.
Here.
Freeholder Owens.
Here.
Freeholder Vice President Sebo.
Here.
Freeholder President Watson.
Present. I have before me certification from the clerk that this meeting is in compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act. Before I ask for topics of discussion, I also see Freeholder Beasley's wife with us this evening. And again, welcome. And we'll try not to hold you too long. Madam Clerk, are there any topics of discussion?
Madam President, there are none.
Okay, Madam Clerk, let's go to the public comment session. If there's any members of the public, we will be voting on agenda items for action only first. If you have any questions on the agenda items, please come to the microphone and state your name. Tonight, we will only be voting on one resolution, and that will be Resolution 39. So if there's any member of the public, again, who would like to comment on Resolution 39, please come to the microphone, state your name and affiliation, and you have 3 minutes to speak. Okay, Madam Clerk, there's no one wishing to speak on agenda item. So let's see if there's any member of the public who would like to comment on any issue or any item. Please come to the microphone and state your name and affiliation, and you have 3 minutes to speak. And you can come to the mic to bring any issue to the board. Madam Clerk, let the records show that there's no one wishing to speak at this time. Okay, Madam Clerk, are there any ordinances on second reading?
Madam President, there are none.
Okay, are there any ordinance on first reading?
Madam President, there are none.
Okay, then let's move to resolutions number 1 and 2, which are advice and consent nominations to the Essex County Workforce Investment Board. And Mr. Shiala, will you please introduce the nominees?
Certainly, Madam President. The first two, Ms. Nancy Davis, as well as the second nominee, Solo Okowo, were unable to make it this evening, but they did confirm that they will attend our next meeting, which would be the board meeting, the voting meeting. So at that time, we'll make the introduction. They are new representatives for the Workforce Investment Board, and they have an excellent background, and we believe that when you do meet them next week, you'll agree that they're two excellent choices.
Okay, and we have their bio in your package, freeholders. At the next meeting, you will meet the two nominees that, Ms. Davis is not here either. Ralph, you said Ms. Davis is not present?
Neither Ms. Davis
Neither? Okay.
nor Solo
Okay.
could make it this evening.
All right,
They will
so-
be here next week.
So freeholders will, and all the other nominations are reappointments, am I correct?
Yes, I believe Resolution 3 through 16 are all reappointments.
Okay. Could you tell me what positions we will,
Certainly, Madam President.
We have filled
They are
in
all
positions we've
they are all members of the Workforce Investment Board. Resolution 3 is Barbara Anella. Resolution 4 is Federica Bay. Resolution 5 is Enrique Blanco. Resolution 6 is Arthur Cifelli, followed by Yvonne Davis, our Director of Welfare, Gregory J. Hawkins, Diana Longo, Bernice Manchel, George Martinez, Rosalina Melendez, Morris Murray, Anibal Ramos, David Weiner, and Carol Wiggum.
okay. And Ms. Davis and Mr. Okanawa, they're replacing, who's not being returned to the board?
Miss Nancy Davis is replacing Emmanuel Page Sr., and Solo will be replacing Miss Judy Goldman.
Okay. Okay, freeholders, you have the resumes in your package, and we'll be voting on these, the advice and consent nominations coming from the administration. We'll be voting on these nominees at our next meeting. Do you have any questions or comments before we move on? Freeholder Seabold.
I would just like to say that I am very much pleased that so many people, so many wonderful people, I know so many of them, are willing to be reappointed and serve on the Essex County Workforce Investment Board. It's a marvelous board, and I think that we should be very pleased that so many terrific people are willing to give of their time to the county executive and to the county. Thank you very much.
Okay. Okay, let's go with Resolution 17. Ralph?
Resolution 17 is out of our Office of County Counsel. We are seeking approval of the execution of discharge of mortgage by the county executive on behalf of the county for the property located at 520 Belleville Avenue, formerly known as the Essex County Geriatric Center. As you know, this board recently approved the auction that was held on December 21st of 2012 for this property. And in order to finalize the sale, we need to close on the property. A discharge of the mortgage must be completed and executed on behalf of the county.
Okay, Mr. McInerney, do you have any questions?
I do. Discharge of mortgage by the county executive on behalf of the county. The county is holding a mortgage on this property? Or is the ECIA hold?
Through you, Frank, as you know, the county actually let out some notes on this property when it leased out the property to the cancer center.
It was $5 million.
Yes, and there was a remaining balance on that. In order to clean all the title to the property, this is a necessary step before we could actually execute the sale of the property.
So those bonds or notes that we sold were collateralized by the building itself, and that lien was perfected against the building.
I will have Mr. Paganelli speak directly to that. Jimmy?
Your name, please, and affiliation.
James Paganelli from the Office of County Counsel. Mr. McInerney, Madam President, through you, there are actually two mortgage holders on the property. One, as I think Mr. McInerney was heading towards, was the Improvement Authority. One was the county. As the board may recall, the Improvement Authority and the county foreclosed on those mortgages and took the CMMI property holder out. For purposes of title insurance, they wanted us to discharge the mortgages, and that's why we're here tonight to ask for permission to do that.
Okay. And so once those mortgages, as well as any other liens or outstanding judgments or whatever else might be against the property are cleared up, that'll make way for the eventual closing.
Right. Madam President, through our auction process and our advertisements, we indicated that we had clear title. This is kind of a cloud on the title, so we're just kind of bootstrapping it and dotting our I's and crossing our T's to make sure there's nothing that will stand in the way of this closing, so Mr. McInerney is correct.
Okay, so there's no other liens against the property at this point in time?
Absolutely not.
There's nothing else that has to be cleaned up?
That's correct.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. McInerney. Questions?
No, Madam Clerk.
Okay, thank you. Okay, freeholders, questions, comments on Resolution 17? No questions? No comments?
Madam President, may
Yes,
I?
Mr.
Just a warning to freeholder Bobadilla. I used to do the same thing
I remember.
with my kids. We used to lower the microphones all the way down to here, and now they're too old for that. So enjoy her. She's precious. Have a nice day.
Very good, she is precious, that's for sure. Thank you. No further questions. Madam Clerk, let's list resolutions 1 through 17. And we'll move to 18, Ralph.
18 is a insertion or temporary emergency appropriation from the state of New Jersey Office of the Attorney General for the Body Armor Grant Program in the amount of $56,191. These are for replacement vests at our Department of Corrections. These vests are used to provide for armor protection against blunt force trauma, knife-pointed weapons, or firearms projections. There is a 5 useful life for each vest, and these will be put into service, replacing those that have the 5-year life cycle.
Okay, let's take 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, and 25, all temporary emergency appropriations from the state of New Jersey, so we'll take them all together, Ralph.
Certainly. 19 is another grant from the Attorney General's Office of the State of New Jersey, again for body armor replacement. This is in the amount of $12,584. Again, this is for a replacement of body armor. 20 is another grant from the Attorney General. This is for the Sheriff's Department. The previous one I had just mentioned was for the Prosecutor's Office. This third, Resolution 20, is replacing those same vests in the Sheriff's Department, and that grant is total $37,014. I should highlight that the first two we are receiving, all three are receiving just a little bit less than we did receive last year. But they're very, very close and minimal reductions in each of the grants. Resolution 21, a grant from Homeland Security and Preparedness of $347,050. This grant is for information sharing, target hardening, as well as training. Resolution 22, a grant from the state of New Jersey, Homeland Security and Preparedness. This grant is for interoperability, emergency communication grant, $45,000. This helps support and fund the salary of a sheriff officer, Anthony Mealy, who serves as our communication officer. And as you'll find in Resolution 23, it's a similar grant for the same amount of $45,000 out of Homeland Security. This picks up the balance of Mr. Mealy's salary, so he is funded 100% out of Homeland Security as our communications officer. Resolution 24, appropriations from the state of New Jersey Homeland Security again under the Urban Areas Security Initiatives for the Office of the Sheriff, $298,000. This is broken down as following. $50,000 for our emergency or OEM operations center maintenance, $35,000 for smart boards, $50,000 for a automated license plate reader maintenance agreement, and a 2 years fee or payment for our risk mitigation planner salary out of OEM. Last year we received roughly $345,000, so this is a reduction in this year's allocation.
Okay, let's stop there, and so we can get some questions if we have any. And freeholders, we're taking questions from resolutions 18 through 25. Let's take 18 first, freeholders. Questions?
Yes.
Freeholder, Vice President Seaborg.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam President. My question deals with 18, 19, and 20 because it's all dealing with body armor. And my question is this: does that give us enough body armor, or are we still short and needing more?
Through you, Madam President, it's my understanding these will complete the recycling of the 5-year life cycle of the vest. So they are up to the number of vests that they should be having.
Because from time to time, we have similar resolutions to replace body armor. So we will see them again at a later date.
Through you, Madam President, this resolution you will see, hopefully as long as this grant is available every year, replacing those vests every year.
Okay, they're replaced yearly then.
Yes.
Very good. Thank you very much.
Okay, freeholders, additional questions on 18, 19, 20. Mr. McInerney, if you have any questions, stop me, please. 21, 22, 23,
24?
Madam
But it-
Chair.
Yes, Freeholder
On
Beasley.
24, it has for the year 2012, the Urban Area Security Initiative. Could you give us some clarity on how that grant is applied and where?
Certainly. This is a grant that is issued to our Office of Emergency Management for the purposes of conducting their business. The way they have broken out to spend these dollars are as such. Up at our Emergency Operations Center, the maintenance of the equipment up there, they've allocated $50,000 for the maintenance of the equipment. Smartboards technology is to purchase that type of equipment is $35,000. What is commonly entitled license plate readers. These are the devices in the radio cars that are able to read license plates and then transcribe the information in a rather rapid fashion to the officers. This is a maintenance fee of $50,000. And finally, there is a 2-year allocation for the salary of their planner for what they call risk mitigation.
And thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Just for clarification and following up with Freeholder Beasley, when we say urban areas, are we dedicating just certain areas for this grant, or it can be used throughout the county? It's specifically
Through you,
say
Madam
urban.
President, this is a title that our federal government had given this grant under Homeland Security. They labeled it as urban area security. My understanding is probably, as what it really speaks to, is funding those areas that are in urban centers.
Okay.
And that is why Essex is eligible. I think Union County is another URASI allocation. We could get you the actual breakdown of New Jersey, those counties that receive this type grant for you.
Okay, very good. Additional questions, freeholders? Let's go, question, comments on Resolution 25. No questions, no comments. Madam Clerk, we'll list Resolutions 18 through 25. Okay. And Ralph, let's go to 26.
I don't think we did 25, Madam President.
Oh, we didn't? Oh, I thought we did 25. Okay, let's go back. Let's hear 25 then. I thought I marked up to 25.
25 is appropriations from the Healthcare Foundation of New Jersey for the Domestic Violence Assessment Center. This is coming in as program income for a division of Community Health Services. This income is derived from clients that are in the Domestic Violence Assessment Center. These are fees that are collected from offenders referred to the program, and these revenues were for the calendar year 2012. Last year, the fees generated roughly $800, or I'm sorry, in 2011. 2012, the fees we received were roughly $880.
Okay. Questions, freeholders, comments? And just, this grant will be applied to the budget?
Through you, Madam President, these are basically just reprogrammed back into the domestic violence program. So there are fees collected from the offenders, reprogrammed back into the program.
Okay. Okay, additional questions? Yes, freeholder Johnson.
Through you, Madam President. Ralph, is any salaries involved in this money here, this $888,000?
I do not believe so, but I will confirm that with our agency.
Sorry, Madam President, I was looking at 26.
Okay.
26 has the 888,556.
Yeah, that's what we on.
We're on 25.
Yes, I'm
25, yes, 25. We're on 25,
I'm
yes.
sorry, I'm one ahead of you. I'll wait for us.
No, okay. Okay. Okay, we are waiting for 26.
Wait till you get to it.
Okay, very good. So no additional questions on 25? If not, then, Madam Clerk, now we will list 18 through 25, and Ralph, will take 26.
26 is a grant agreement, temporary emergency appropriation from the New Jersey Governor's Council on Alcoholism and Drug Abuse for a Division of Community Health, $888,516. Primarily, the way it's broken down is $792,640 are designated for program funds. The program coordinator receives $95,876, and they provide technical assistance training, oversight, and monitoring of the program, and this covers all areas from prevention to education on alcohol and drug abuse for all ages. I would like to point out that this is slightly less than last year's allocation. Last year, the county did receive roughly $963,000.
Question, comments, freeholders? None? No questions? No comments? And we are on Resolution 26, we'll list that. Okay, let's go back to 27, 28, 29, and 30, all temporary emergency appropriations.
27, Madam President, is emergency appropriation from the New Jersey Transit Corporation for senior citizens and the Disabled Residents Assistance Program for a Division of Senior Services, $1,621,252. These funds come from the Casino Revenue Fund, and they're utilized for the non-emergency transportation services of our senior citizens and disabled residents, for various transportation to and from dialysis, therapy, education, nutritional sites, food shopping, employment, social and recreation services. Again, unfortunately, this is a reduction in last year. Last year, the county did receive roughly $1.8 million. Resolution 28, an appropriation from the New Jersey Assistance of Community Caregivers, $171,050. This program is to help seniors who are at risk at placement in nursing homes. And the hope is to keep these seniors in their homes by providing an array of services from case management to adult daycare, homemaker services, as well as transportation needs. Resolution 29, again another insertion or appropriation from the New Jersey Department of Health and Senior Services for our respite care program. Department of Senior Services, $594,515. Again, sad to report that this is a reduction from last year's allocation of $680,000. Our respite program provides for periodic relief for our caregivers who oversee the frail elderly and our impaired adults, as well as emergency services when the caregiver is incapacitated or the companion, and medical daycare and homemaker home health aides are required on a short-term basis. Resolution number 30, again another appropriation from the state of New Jersey under the respite care program. This revenue comes in as program income in the amount of $31,480. The way we derive this income is that clients whose income exceeds the 145% federal poverty level must pay a share of the services. And this last year generated roughly $31,000. That'll be reprogrammed back into the program.
Very good. Okay, freeholder, let's start with 27. Questions, comments? And Mr. McInerney, if you have any questions with any of these?
No, I don't. None of these grants, no.
Okay. Freeholders, Resolution 27, 28, 29, and 30. No questions, freeholders. Madam Clerk, let's list 27 through 30.
Yes, Madam
And Mr. Scheller, let's take 31.
Department of Citizen Services, Division of Senior Services, this is approval of our 2013 service providers and rates under the Respite Care Program. This is grant funded, $478,366. In your packet, you'll notice there are two schedules. Schedule A is approving of the state-approved providers, and Schedule B is the approval of the state-approved rates. You'll see there's an extensive list of agencies from the Accredited Health Services, Alert Home Services, Bayada Home Health Care, Case Management, Caring Health, Krill, Comfort Care Senior Services, Comprehensive Health Services, Family First, Griswold Special Care, Helping Hands, and the list is extensive. And you'll notice, as I mentioned previously, that these have all been approved by the state, not only the provider, but the rates.
Okay, freeholders, we'll start with Resolution 27.
Madam President.
20, I'm sorry, 31. 32.
Madam President, 31.
Yes, Mr. McInerney.
Yeah, I looked at the care provider list, but I didn't see anything on rates in here. There's 17 pages, unless I'm missing something.
Okay, I just do 31. Your question, could you repeat that question for me?
It was just a statement. I didn't see anything on rates, on the rates for the program.
I've got Mary Davis from the...
Yeah, I don't need them now. I'm not making a big deal about it. I'm just saying, you said there's rates in there, like, if you can just get them to us. I don't see anything.
Mary Davis, Division of Seniors.
Could you help her?
Mary Davis, Division of Senior Services. As was stated, the rates are set by the state. The rates ranges from $12 to $214, depending on the services.
Are you satisfied with that? And the rates are set
And
by
what
the
we'll do,
state?
Madam President, we'll provide that list of rates for Mr. McInerney and the board. I had thought they were in the packet, but we'll provide that for the board.
Okay, very good. Additional question, freeholders, we are on Resolution 31. No questions? And Madam Clerk, we'll list Resolution 31. Okay. Okay, Ralph, let's go to 32.
32 is another appropriation from the State of New Jersey, Department of Health for our senior services, and a cash match from the County of Essex for the area plan, $5,128,454. The county's share or cash match for this grant is roughly $154,448. And these services include in-home support, access, community support, as well as nutritional services. 10% of the grant can be utilized for administrative cost. We will receive the balance of this funding in July sometime, Madam President.
Okay. Freeholders, questions? Again, emergency appropriation from the state on 32. No questions? Okay, Ralph, let's go to 33.
33 is our Citizen Services Division of Senior Services, requesting the approval of their 2013 matrix to award to our subcontracts, various agencies to provide services to the elderly in the amount of $7,899,400. $509. This is all grant funded. You do have in your packet the list of the agencies and the allocations. The services are wide, a range of services that include home support, again, access, community support, nutritional services. In your packet, there is a list of the agencies, the services that they will provide, as well as the grant that they will be receiving. I would like to note that there is one new provider on the list this year, and that happens to be United Way.
Okay. Questions, freeholders? Comments? Okay, let's go to 34.
Madam Chair,
Question, freeholder Bilal Beasley.
I'd like to get, it referenced access and reverse commute. I guess it relates to the division of training. How is that applied in terms of, is this transportation costs, is this to the individual participant in the program? Trying to understand how does that work?
Through you, Madam President, most of this is under the what they call congregate meals or nutritional services. Then there's transportation. You do have adult daycare services that are provided. You have some emergency counseling that's provided under this grant. We do have a visiting nurse program as part of this grant. There is a caregiver education component. And that primarily is the services that are provided. But if you look through the grant, it runs anywhere from legal assistance to counseling to nutritional services.
Does this assist the people who are participating in the program to get back and forth to public transportation? That's what I'm trying to understand. Is it?
I don't believe so, but I'll have Ms. Davis confirm that.
Again, your name for the record.
Mary A. Davis, Division of Senior Services. I didn't understand your question.
I'm asking, does this assist people who participate in the program in the job, in the employment training? Does this assist them in getting back and forth?
No, these allocations do not assist in that.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay. Additional questions, freeholders? No questions? Okay, wrap. Let's go to the next one.
34, I think this speaks to Freeholder Beasley's question. This is a grant from the New Jersey Transit. This is for funding fiscal year 2010 and round 12. This is for our job access and reverse commute for our Division of Training and Employment, $650,000. These routes has been commonly referred to as the Night Owl, Fairfield, and Route 10 shuttle. This is the transportation network that operates on off hours where public transportation does not provide transportation to places of employment. These are individuals that have jobs. There is no direct way for them to get to their jobs. So this hub of transportation permits them to get from their homes and their communities to either Penn Station or to Fairfield and Route 10 so that they can remain employed.
Okay, freeholder Seabold.
Thank you very much. I've always been particularly concerned about this job access reverse commute program because it enables so many people to reach places of employment, and from time to time the money was being cut and we were losing money and so on. And I see that Michael Vieira is here tonight, and I believe he's in charge of this program. Am I correct? And I know, because I've been following it very closely, I know that the job access reverse commute was awarded the 2012 New Jersey System of the Year Award. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
By the New Jersey Council on Special Transportation. Were we the only county which received such an award?
I'm not certain, but I could ask Mr. Vieira to come up to the mic and address that.
Okay, Mr. Vieira.
Thank you, freeholders. Michael Vieira, Transportation Administrator, Division of Training and Employment. Yes, Essex County was the only one this year that received the 2012 System of the Year. It's awarded to one system each year by the New Jersey Council.
Well, how wonderful that we were given this. And what will happen in the future in terms of money? Do you think there will be able to continue to get money, I hope?
In regards to the JARC program, New Jersey Transit has already informed us that we have money up until at least 2015.
Oh, great.
So
that's
the federal government money is there.
And they go all along Route 10, right?
We have
Is
three
it
shuttles. We
Fairfield?
have the Essex Night Owl, which is actually a national model freeholder, as you know, and that operates between 1 o'clock in the morning to 5 a.m. in the morning, and it picks up people directly from their homes in the towns of Orange, East Orange, Newark, and Irvington, and it takes them from their homes directly to Penn Station Newark, where at that point they can catch the bus going to the airport, or they can catch the PATH or other trains going either to Hoboken or Jersey City, or even into New York City for jobs. The other two shuttles is our Route 10 shuttle, which actually connects with one of the buses going up Route 10. It doesn't go as far up Route 10 past Murray Road. However, there's a lot of jobs past Murray Road, and there's no sidewalks up there. There's no way for those people to get to their jobs all the way even out to 46. And the same is true for the Fairfield West Essex run. From Bloomfield Avenue, there's a big industrial area that no buses transport to. So we pick the people up from Bloomfield Avenue and take them into the industrial areas in the Fairfield West Essex area.
Thank you. Thank you for your excellent work.
Thank you very much.
Madam President.
Freeholder Johnson.
Through you, Madam President. I heard you mention Newark, East Orange, and the towns down in the lower Orange. And did you mention Montclair?
I did not mention Montclair, no. When we first put this program together about 10 years ago, there was no issues or no concerns with Montclair during those hours. We can try and expand it if that's something that the freeholders want. But
Okay, through you, Madam President. I would like to, for you to at least give us, all the freeholders would like to have this list of the towns, how many people from each of the towns that you pick up to take to these jobs. You know, because in my daily routine and stuff, I find a lot of people in the Newark areas, in the East Orange area, in the Irvington areas that just can't get to work. And if there's a shuttle available, we need to know how many that you're picking up there and where are some of the sites for it. Is that possible, Madam President?
I think it's possible, but are we picking up just anybody that can't get to a job, or are we using the clients that we have serviced to make sure they get to their jobs? Is it just any resident?
in regards to the Essex Night Owl, it's only from the towns of Orange, Newark, East Orange, Irvington. However, the Route 10 shuttle and the Fairfield West Essex shuttle, we have riders from all over the county. So we do, on those two particular shuttles, we do have Montclair residents, but through you to the county administrator, I can't get those numbers. We do have those available.
Okay.
So if it was just a regular resident that needed to get to work, they could use this shuttle free of charge?
Absolutely, as long as you get to our starting points, which is, I believe, on the Fairfield West Essex run, it may be the 62 bus. 62 bus stops at Bloomfield Avenue at one of the West Essex malls. That's where we begin our shuttle. In regards to the Route 10 shuttle, that's a 73 bus, and the 73 bus runs through many towns and has many connections, and that's where we get a lot of other, such as the Montclairs and the North Corwells and the Glen Ridges, going up to the Route 10 area. So as long as you can get to the 73 bus, we will take you free of charge.
Okay, so as any resident in Newark that can get to the 73 bus, do they have to show some type of identification, something to say they're going to work, or they just a free bus service for?
No, this is, we consider this a demand response service. So what they'll do is they'll call up our contractor, who is Meadowlink Commuter Services. They'll say, I need a ride. This is the time of the bus that I get on at New Jersey Transit. We know what time it drops you off, so we'll have a list of all of the clients that ride our vehicles, and then once they get off the New Jersey Transit bus, they'll get onto our vehicle, they'll sign their name that they were on it, so at least we have a count, and then we'll take them to their destination, their workplace destination. And we also do this for job interviews too.
I think that's what
Yes.
what he was trying to find out.
For the Newark and the Irvington stops, well, I'll have them compile it and give that to us, the stops in Newark and in Irvington.
But they have to sign up, though. They have to sign up so that we'll know they're going to be passengers on the tram bus. That's what I want to know.
Correct, Freeholder.
Yeah, Madam Chair.
Just want to make sure that's clear.
Madam President?
Can I come back to you, because I was
Yeah,
looking over?
this was actually the
Freeholder,
item
please.
that I was referring, I was a little ahead of myself, it was 34. The question I wanted to ask, with the vendors that we have that do the job training and their need of having this type of service, can they take advantage of this? The people that they're training and their employment opportunities to use this transportation?
Like I had mentioned before, anybody can use this service as long as they have either a job or a job interview and can get from the New Jersey Transit bus to where our starting points are. All they have to do is call our service, make the arrangements, and yes, the answer is a quick
Are
yes.
the vendors that have we contracted from the county, are they taking advantage of this transportation?
All of our vendors who we contract with know about the JARC services, and they do advertise it to their clients, as well as the staff at the Essex County Division of Training and Employment. They all know about the S6 Night Owl, the Route 10 shuttle, and the Fairfield West Essex. And when they're trying to place people in jobs, they are aware that, you know what, transportation is available up there.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay, Freeholder Vice
I
President.
think my
Seaborn.
question was just
Yeah,
answered
come
because I
back.
want to know how people are finding out about this, and I think you answered it.
Yeah, not only does the county advertise, Meadowlink Commuter Services is also a TMA, a Transportation Management Association, so they do plenty of advertising for not only our programs, but all the other transportation programs in their service area.
Places of employment, let them know also.
Yes, and actually, Meadowlink Commuter Services, as part of their contract, they go out and meet with the employers and let them know that this is available. Meadowlink has a sub-office at Newark Airport just for this purpose.
Very good, thank you.
Madam President?
Yes, Freeholder Owen?
This is a very simple question, baby. Do the buses have the phone numbers on them that someone might know that this bus is an easy communication for them to recognize the bus but the number on it?
Yes, the buses do have, it doesn't have the county number, but it does have the Easy Ride number, which is our contractor.
Okay, thank you. That's my question.
Additional questions, freeholders? None? Okay, let's go to 35, Ralph.
35 is another appropriation. This is revenue that is generated from the county providing GED testing. This is revenue program income in the amount of $22,410. This program income was derived from 2012, and we will reprogram these dollars back into our GED testing center. There is a fee, is how this revenue is generated, $50 for each exam and $10 for every re-exam. I should like to highlight that in 2011, the county derived roughly $15,000, so we are generating more revenue, which means more individuals are taking either the test or retest.
Okay. Mr. McInerney, do you have any questions on either of these resolutions? Okay. Freeholders, let's go back then to question comments on 35. No questions, no comments. Madam Clerk, we will list 32, 33, 34, 35, and Mr. Shallow, we'll take 36.
This is our Department of Public Works contract award to Northeast Roof Maintenance, the lowest responsible bidder, to provide roofing services for various county buildings. This is a 2-year agreement, amount not to exceed $241,500. This is on an as-needed basis. This is coming out of our capital funds. The vendor is an SBE, and Mr. Andrew Hui is present with us this evening if the board has any questions for this vendor.
Okay. Before I call Mr. Hooley up, let me see if freeholders, do we have any questions on Resolution 36? Mr. McInerney?
So this all comes out of capital, if this isn't repairs then, this is when he puts on roofs?
This is capital, out of our capital funds, that is
Right,
correct.
but it's strictly for putting on new roofs on buildings.
As opposed to,
As
yes.
opposed to repairs. How do we handle repairs and maintenance on roofs? Is that under a different contract more than likely?
I could have Mr. Satali address that. Dennis?
Good evening, Dennis Sedali, Assistant County Engineer with Essex County. That would be under a different contract.
So this is strictly to do the capital improvements, which is putting on new roofs.
Yes.
And this applies to all county buildings, or?
Yes, it does. We take care of all the departments and divisions in the county.
Thank you, Dennis.
So Ralph, this contract is not to exceed 241.
500 for a 2-year
And
period.
that's for a 2-year period?
That is correct.
Okay. Do we have any roofs that we have presently that we need to start on right away, or we wait until we receive a request to have them repaired?
I think from my notes, I believe there is a roof in need, and that is the carpenter shop in Cedar Grove, Madam President.
Okay. Additional questions, freeholders? We are on Resolution 36. No additional questions. We'll go to Resolution 37. Ralph?
37 is Public Works. This is an agreement for reimbursement of costs that are associated with the federal local design funds for the project commonly known as the Berkeley Avenue Bridge over the Second River in the township of Bloomfield in the amount of $974,443. This agreement for reimbursement is for design work for the cost at the Berkeley Avenue Bridge, and this is a requirement of the state to receive the reimbursement funding, and this is for the replacement bridge at that same location.
Freeholders? Question, comments? Mr. McInerney, any questions? No comments? Very good. Ralph, let's take 38.
Again, Public Works contract with Boswell Engineering for engineering, design, construction, as well as inspection services for the Hoover Avenue Bridge in Bloomfield, New Jersey, amount not to exceed $239,980. We did receive 16 firms that submitted proposals from 105 who viewed the RFP through our portal. This firm, Boswell, did receive the highest score. This is grant funded, Madam President, and it will be coming out of our capital funds. We have a representative, Mr. Valentin from Boswell, in the audience if the board has any questions for Boswell Engineering.
Okay, freeholders, questions? And we on Resolution 38. Mr. McInerney? And this contract is for engineering work for just this one project, right? Am I correct?
This is for not only design, engineering, construction, but inspection services for the Hoover Avenue Bridge, which is located in Bloomfield.
But it's for the one project, the three, what I'm looking at, the $239,000 is for the one project.
One project, the Hoover Avenue Bridge.
Okay, that's what I'm trying to determine. Okay, additional questions, comments, freeholders? None, so Madam Clerk, let's list 36, 37, and 38.
Yes, Madam President.
And would you read into the record Resolution 39, the administration's requesting action on this resolution?
Resolution 39, Department of Public Works, Division of Engineering, contract award to Sugar Property Services Incorporated, the lowest responsive and responsible bidder for the rehabilitation of Verona Park Boathouse restrooms and adjacent restroom, 90-day agreement, amount not to exceed $308,950.
Okay, Mr. Sheller, will you explain the resolution and tell us why you request an action?
Certainly, Madam President. The request for asking for action this evening is that the timeline to complete this project will take us 90 days roughly, will take us to right before Memorial Day. Our hopes is to have this facility open for Memorial Day at the Boathouse in Verona. The scope of work includes for 2 bathrooms. One is on the inside of the boathouse and the other is on the outside of the boathouse. It covers both new epoxy flooring, tiles on the wall, new doors, all new rough plumbing, as well as a water heater, new sinks, toilets, urinals, restroom accessories such as hand dryers, toilet paper dispensers, trash receptacles. We'll also replace the existing sprinkler system, new radiators that will connect to the existing boilers, a new electrical system and light fixtures, and some walls are being relocated to allow for ADA improvements at the site.
Okay, freeholders, do I have a motion and a second to take?
I'll move it.
Moved by Freeholder Vice President Sebo. Do I have a second? By Freeholder Beasley. Discussion, comments, freeholders?
Madam President.
Freeholder Sebo.
Thank you. I would just say that I'm very happy this work is being done. The Verona Park is heavily used, and I think this is an important undertaking that will occur to help the residents who use the park. Thank you.
Okay. Additional comments, freeholders, or questions? And we are voting on Resolution 39. No additional questions or comments? And we do business, we constantly do business with Sugar Property Services.
Yes, Madam President, I
This
did
is the same sugar company.
fail to mention that Clarence, who was with us, I think at our last meeting, is back again. He enjoys our company, so if the board would like to have Clarence come up to the mic,
Okay.
he's ready to do so if you so desire.
Okay. Have him to come up.
Good evening, Madam President and fellow freeholders. My name is Clarence Sconiers from Sugar Group or Sugar Property Services.
Okay, you want to tell us we just heard from the administration. Just give us a little background on what you plan to do with this contract.
Yes, I believe there is a 90-day of completion for this project. As prior stated, there's extensive interior renovations to be done, bathroom facilities and accessories, plumbing and electrical improvements, also additional park amenities in regards to trash receptacles.
Okay. And you have a time frame that you will, if we approve the contract tonight, you should be done by when?
The contract itself has a date of completion of 90 days. So once the notice to proceed is granted, then yes.
Very good. Okay, Freeholder Vice President.
Thank you, Mr. Chow. For the record, how many bids were there, and was Sugar the lowest?
Through you, Madam President, yeah, by law, they were the lowest, and I believe there were 5 bids that were received, and Sugar was the lowest.
Thank you very much.
Okay, freeholders, additional questions, comments? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Clerk, we have a mover and a second?
Yes, Madam President,
Okay.
we do.
Okay, roll call.
Freeholder Beasley.
Yes.
Freeholder Bobadilla.
Yes.
Freeholder Clark, absent. Freeholder Gill.
Yes.
Freeholder Johnson.
Yes.
Freeholder Luciano.
Yes.
Freeholder Owens.
Yes.
Freeholder Vice President Seymour.
Yes.
Freeholder President Watson.
Yes.
So moved.
Okay, Madam Clerk, let's list 40 through 49, all the commendations. And before we get started, we want to acknowledge the commendations given to the Montclair Kimberly Academy, boys soccer this evening, and girls soccer, am I correct?
Tennis.
Girl tennis, okay. That's not on the agenda, but we had the on the agenda. Wait a minute. No, it's not on.
Okay.
So,
It will probably be on the next.
it would be on the next one, but Freeholder Gill, I know that's in your district, and it's my understanding that the team, they're very good, and we're very proud to have such a school in the state, in Essex County. Do we have any other comments on the commendations? If not, we'll list them, Madam Clerk, as I stated earlier. Madam Clerk, do we have any added starter resolutions?
Madam President, we have none.
I know, very good. We're getting good.
They're showing it off, Madam President, the administration.
Very good. We'll go into public comment session. Do we have anyone from the public who would like to speak? Please come to the microphone, state your name and affiliation, and you have 3 minutes to speak.
Good evening, Douglas Freeman, District Leader, 44th District, P.O. Box 4252, Newark, New Jersey. Through you, Madam President. Today, we met with the Housing Authority, and they was having an all-day meeting on their redevelopment plan on Dayton Street. Within their brochures and on their road trip around the area, Weequahic Park was highlighted as the primary reason for them to get the neighborhood choice planning grant, which is not approved yet, but it will bring $30 million into the Dayton Street area. Asking through you, Madam President, that someone from the Freeholders Board or the administration can be at these meetings, because today was the first start. They had different fundings, organizations, and Newark was there, and other organizations, pretty much Port Authority, New Jersey Transit, but the county wasn't there. I don't know if the county wasn't invited, but you know about it now. And I would like to have the county there to be invited at this meeting. Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam President.
And normally we don't, yes, normally we don't respond, but I have to because I'm gonna let Ralph respond first, and then I'll come back to you.
Thank you.
Freeholder Johnson.
Through you, Madam President, for the rest of the membership of the board, this particular meeting was requested by the Housing Authority. It was brought to the administration's attention by our Freeholder President, Bonnie Watson. She had requested that we collaborate and work with the Newark Housing Authority on this program. So we're kind of like a co-sponsorship of the program. We've been working very diligently behind the scenes. They sought us out through the president. We've agreed to host them. So we're with them, stepping lock. Our presence, today was to actually allow them to utilize the facility. We provided the facility for them, reach out so that they can reach out to community members. But we're very much in tune with the project and the grants and the importance to the community of Dayton Street and Weequahic Park area. And I think that's why President Watson pretty much asked that we put this on a front burner and really participate up front. And I want to thank you for that. And my understanding, it was a very well-attended event today.
Very good, and thank you. You need to comment?
Through you, Madam President, I'm glad to know that you were out there in the vineyards mashing the grapes. But I just wanted to say also to the gentleman from the association, him and Wadu, who come here all the time in reference to that. And I want to really get into some serious conversation with them about creating another one of those conservancies for that area, because they're here every meeting. They're very concerned about the park, and I think that they should want to step up to the plate to start another conservancy, because with another conservancy in the park, that would mean more dollars to the park. So I'm willing to work with you, and I'll try to get the county administrator to work with us to develop that so that it could be more money coming into the park, but that's you guys' decision.
Thank you, very good. Thank you, Freeholder Johnson, for the comment. Okay, we responded to your questions, so we will, Mr. Freeman, we will not be responding to you in writing. Normally, we don't respond, but I felt that it was necessary for us to respond this evening. Okay, do we have any other comments, freeholders? Any other members of the public? If not, then let's go to other business, freeholders. Any special business, other business, freeholder Gill?
Thank you, Madam President. Just a couple quick announcements, and I recently, about a week ago or 2 weeks ago, convened a meeting of the 5 mayors in my district and business administrators regarding a shared services proposal, an idea for a regional North Essex Fire Department. And very much at this point, just an idea. With your permission, Madam President, I'd like to submit that through you and the clerk to the administration for review and to see if there's a role for the county to play. Again, it's very preliminary concept, but I think one that is on the minds of many people in my district in terms of seeking to explore additional opportunities for shared services, because we know we cannot continue to sustain the delivery of services at the municipal level at the current rate that we're going. And I also would request that if there isn't an appropriate committee to review these types of proposals, that we create an ad hoc committee on this board to deal just with the issue and potential of shared services. Because I'll tell you what happened, Madam Chair. I just reached, someone in my district brought the proposal to me. I asked me to invite the 5 mayors just in my district to talk about it. The word got out. We had representatives from West Orange, from Newark, from East Orange, who showed up at this meeting to just really hear about the idea. So again, very preliminary at this point. It's an idea. I don't want to scare anyone in terms of, people hear shared services, they start to immediately think about their jobs, and I can appreciate that. I'm a huge supporter of the labor movement, but this was something that I thought maybe through you, Madam President, we could have a potentially discussion about the creation of an ad hoc committee to deal with those types of issues. Just 2 other issues for follow-up. I wanted to thank the administration for sitting down with the Montclair and Bloomfield Soccer League to talk about continuing issues at Brookdale Park. And one thing we did discuss also as a side of that issue at Glenfield Park, Ralph, the fence on Glenfield Park was damaged during Hurricane Sandy. I understand that there's a contract in the works for us to repair it, but the fence itself is still hanging, when I went to take a look, and if there's a temporary fix, I'd very much like us to see what we could do temporarily. They did make Parks and Public Works aware of this, and also learned something in this process. The issue of who is responsible. This is as we know, a park that is next to a public school. The issue of who is responsible to shovel the snow in front of parks that are adjacent to schools. I know we usually triage those. We weren't, after the last storm, able to get to that particular school until that particular park in front of that school until Thursday, following the storm on Sunday. But my request through you, Madam President, would be that I did get some feedback that it wasn't always clear in terms of those schools of who they should contact in the county. So if we could refresh everybody on, on the schools and who they should contact directly when they have those types of situations, I'd appreciate it.
Madam Clerk, we follow up on that request. And I will speak to Freeholder Gill, I'll speak to you separately about the ad hoc committee. I just need to know more about when we start talking about shared services. We could form a committee, but I just need to get a little better understanding of where we're going with this.
Thank you.
Okay? Yes. Freeholder Luciano.
Yes, thanks, Madam President. I speak through you, but I speak only for myself. I don't speak for other freeholders. I was just wondering if that you would consider as president and also vice president of the leadership committee of the Freeholder Board that in the near future or maybe before next week's meeting, if we could consider having a closed session meeting. I have some questions and some things that I would like, to ask and answer, but I wouldn't like them on a public sitting. So if you would consider that, again, I know you would have to talk with the other freeholders.
I would have to, let me just double check to see. I think when we have closed sessions, if I'm not mistaken, we have to have a reason, a purpose.
Yes, we do have to have a reason.
It has
I'm
to
not
be
going to give you a legal opinion, but, you can lay out your reason for it and make the request accordingly.
Yeah.
You don't have to do that now. You
No,
can
don't do it
at
now,
present.
but we would need to, I would need to know the reason and for closed session, and if we don't have the closed session, I can always do 2 meetings, separate meetings with half the Freeholder Board at different times. If I call a closed session, I have to have a reason.
You not just a reason, but a reason that is required for a closed session. A reason that these
Personnel.
hearings or whatever discussions you're going to have are not held out to the public. So usually it's a personnel matter or other issues like that and things that cannot be discussed in a general public hearing, or a public meeting, I meant to say.
So I'll get back to you. I'll let you know exactly, if you could let me know, just you don't have to go through full detail, just give me an idea of what your reason for wanting to schedule this meeting, and then I can determine how we'll be able to set up the meeting, be it just a regular meeting with 4 and 4, or if I can go into closed session.
Thank you, Madam President.
Because maybe what you're speaking about, I can put it into closed session. I just need to know why.
Okay.
Okay, Freeholder Beasley?
Yeah, thank you. To you, Madam Chair, I'd like to request some update information. I know through our Work First Committee, we have been provided from the administration sort of like an update on the vendors that currently serve the county and providing that training. It was sort of like a scorecard on, the success of their employment training and people getting jobs. I'd like to know if we've had that recently. If not, if we can get an update on that type of information. Okay. And also I'd like to know when would be the next opportunity for people to apply who want to provide those services.
Okay, all right. The question is, when will we be sending out bid to individuals who would like to provide services for training? Training services?
Yeah, for the employment training. I know at some of our committee meetings in the past, we were provided with the people who are currently providing those services, but it was information that indicated the success of whether they were actually getting people employed or, how many they trained. It was very interesting to stay up to date on that, to see if we are continually just contracting with so many people that don't have a track record. So that's what I'm trying to find. Okay.
I think at my last meeting, I did schedule,
But it has not been scheduled.
the chair to schedule a meeting of that committee because I had some concerns, and so we'll put that on the radar and make sure that meeting is scheduled in the very near future.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay. Additional questions, comments, freeholders, this is your time.
Madam President?
Yes, Freeholder Johnson.
Through you, Madam President, I'd like to thank the administration because I called them in reference to the park on West Side Park. The snow had not been shoveled around the park. And that same day, they sent a crew out. And they had it done by the next morning, because I got calls saying that it was done, and they thanked me, but I said I would have to personally thank the administration for moving on it so swiftly.
Very good. Thank you. Additional comments, Freeholder? Do you want to thank the administration publicly about attending your meeting on?
Yes, I do. Also, Ralph Chilella, County Administrator, and Deborah Collins. We had a meeting at Home Depot. They were kind enough to let us use their facility for the Springfield Avenue Merchants Association that's just trying to get started up. And I appreciate the help and the guidance that yourself and Deborah Collins gave. And Madam President was there in attendance. And I think that we are starting to, with these main thoroughfares, we are starting to make some kind of an impact. And I'm very, very proud to say that I am very glad that these partnerships are coming into effect, because you know how those thoroughfares are, coming from Springfield Avenue to South Orange Avenue, the Lyons Avenue, the Chancellor Avenues. You know, it's part of our responsibility to make sure that certain things are in place. And I'm glad to work with the administration on these things, because I'm a product of those communities. So I thank the administration, Joe D, for allowing his staff to be at these meetings with us.
Very good. Very good. Additional comments, Freeholders? Okay, if not, Ralph, do you have any comments you would like to make, or any
No, Madam President, thank you, though.
announcement from the administration? Just let me put on the record that those that did not attend the county exec State of the County address last night, it was really a very, very, very good presentation. The way it was produced, the production of it, it was very clear, never boring. I mean, it kept your attention the entire time that the county exec was up making his presentation, and he did acknowledge the freeholders. He said that he couldn't do what he would not be able to have the accomplishments and the successes and progress without this freeholder board. So that I paid special attention to, because he acknowledged that he needs the freeholder board to move this county to where we want to be. And I am, as I stated last night, I am very proud of where we're going with the county. No, we can't say everything is perfect, but I don't think we can say that we are not doing what is best in the best interest of the residents of this county. So will you acknowledge that, let the county exec know that we appreciate the acknowledgement that we are working as a team, and it was just a great evening.
Most certainly. Thank you, Madam President.
Do we have any other comments?
You know, we appreciate being included in the PowerPoint.
Okay, if no other business, freeholders, just let me let you know that we did respond to the public from freeholders meeting February 6th. Mr. Freeman had several questions. At least he had 5 questions, and again, based on what Freeholder Johnson said, it was all about information about Weekway Park and certain things with the floating dock and some other questions in reference to Weekway Park. And the response came to us on the 11th, and we sent the letter out on the 20th. Captain Kalia Jones spoke on behalf of her fellow officers at the Essex County Juvenile Detention Center to express their hope that something can be done to increase their salaries. We listened and very emotional, good information to the freeholder board, and the memo was sent to the administration on the 14th. We respond on the 19th, and the letter was sent out on the 20th, response to Captain Kalia Jones, and she had quite a few of officers from the Essex County Juvenile Detention Center present, making that presentation before this board. Cassandra Dock spoke about an urban studies professor. We sent the memo out on 2/14. The response came back to us on 2/19. The letter was sent out on 2/20. Donna Jackson spoke in reference to several issues, with at least 7 issues that she spoke about and had some concerns about. And it was about crime in urban Essex County. She wanted to know, have some crime reports for the county cities, and implored the county to apply for grant dollars for dealing with gangs, and asked for the promotion policy on ECCF and Youth Detention Center. Indicated that we're not ordering enough bulletproof vests, and we just ordered some bulletproof vests tonight, so that I'm sure that response went out to her. Suggested that the county ask the officers at ECCF, the Lady Hall, and the Juvenile Detention Center how they feel about the conditions of the respective facilities. And she also asked what was done with the $1.3 billion in Resolution 16, and I think that was the Sandy relief dollars that came. We responded to her on 2/19, and the letter was sent out on 2/20. Mr. Jeremy Barati, I think I'm pronouncing that correctly, had 5 questions that he proposed to the Freeholder Board. One was details on the contract for Fonz Consulting. He asked why FEMA isn't covering the cost of damage to the boilers at ECCF. Asked how much is being spent to build a floating dock, and asked why we are housing people at ECCF for parking tickets. And he asked if any veterans were offered any of the Hurricane Sandy jobs. We responded to him. The memo was sent to the administration on the 14th. They responded on the 19th, and we sent the response out on the 20th. Mr. Douglas Freeman also asked if anything can be done to take care of the mosquito problem in Weekway Park, and the memo, we sent the memo to the administration on the 14th, response on the 19th. The letter was sent out to Mr. Freeman on the 20th. So for the viewing audience, when you see that the Freeholder Board don't respond while we have residents at the mic, we always respond to them in writing, and we always make the announcement at the following meeting when the response was sent out to these residents and answering their questions or comments. So with that being said, do we have any other Freeholder Clerk for the record is present before we close out? You have a question, Freeholder Clark? A comment?
Actually, Madam President, I would like to make sure that my vote is cast in the affirmative, if that can be done, Madam, before you adjourn, on all of the advice and consents.
We didn't vote on that yet.
You didn't?
This is your conference meeting.
Oh, okay, so we're not...
We only voted on one issue tonight.
Okay.
That was resolution.
Okay.
That was resolution 39.
Okay, then, thank you very much. No, that way I can go ahead and vote next week, because I just didn't want my vote not to count for advice and consent, but fortunately, I have until next week to do it, so thank you.
Do you want to vote
on 39? No, ma'am, I'm fine with everything else.
You're fine with everything
Yes.
else? Very good. Okay, freeholders, if you didn't receive a copy of the freeholder redistricting, this might interest you, because when you, at the next freeholder election, you would need to know what freeholder districts you will be serving. So I would advise all of you the freeholders, to look at the redistricting and see how it was shifted. So we had some shifts made in the redistricting of the freeholder board. I think that, do I have anything else that I need to announce? No. Okay. Oh, freeholders, don't forget Saturday. Our budget hearings start at 9 o'clock, and it's an all-day session. And I would only excuse not Freeholder Beasley for a half a day. And Freeholder Vice President Sebo, if you need to be excused for the half a day. And we do expect the rest of the freeholders to give us the full day. Oh, yes, Alexandra, I have to commend you.
I'm telling you, you sat there and you paid attention to everything we said. Do you want to say something to the freeholders? No? Do you want to say hello, Daddy? No? But I have to say that you were outstanding. You sat there like a little lady, not one word.
She's so good.
Let's give her. You have to come and visit us again, okay? All righty. Very good. Have Daddy to bring you again. Okay.
She's precious.
Yes, she is precious. Let me welcome Freeholder Beasley back. We know he's, and every time I would speak to Freeholder Beasley, I'd say, don't you rush back. And he said, you sound like my wife. So I was on one end and you was on the other. I would not allow him to rush back. He looks great. I think now he was ready to come back. And I think that was the best thing we did when we didn't let him come back earlier. So thank you for being here with us this evening and with your husband. And Pat, I hear you feeling better, but you got to take it easy. And,
it's a long haul.
And you do that. And don't do any more than you have to do, okay?
Thank you very much.
Very good. Okay, with that said, do I have a motion to adjourn? So moved. Motion carries.
Want a copy of this meeting? For more information about how to obtain a copy of this broadcast, please email Nick Bosco of Bosco Design Group, LLC, nick@nickboscodesign.com. Include your first and last name, mailing address, phone number, and email address in the email. The cost of a copy is $25 and will be sent to you in 7 to 10 business days. For a quicker response, please send a money order or bank check made payable to Bosco Design Group, LLC, with a self-addressed stamped envelope to Bosco Design Group, LLC, 24 Hillside Avenue, number A1, Montclair, New Jersey, 07042.